Okay, so this is a Sanyo. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. FVF504400. It's complicated there. I've put all the screws in a little tub, and because it's on a bed, it's probably a good idea to keep them from sliding around and falling and getting lost. Now I'm going to pivot the cover towards the back, and that's because there's a ribbon connecting it to the control board. Alright, so here's our control board, and because it's turning on slowly, it takes about a half hour to an hour to turn on. I'm going to replace the power control, and picked up a new one, and let's see if we can see a part number on there. So that says LK SP412002C. I'm just going to replace the power supply and see if that fixes it. I actually bought a set that includes everything, including the other pieces as well, because all of the pieces were $80 and the single power control was $54. So if that is something that you were thinking of too. Now, it's common to say that the capacitors get swollen and that makes them take a while to get heated up. And if we look at all of these capacitors, we see that none of them are swollen. Testing them is a big pain, and to be honest, soldering and doing all that for $80, I just prefer to replace the piece. So let me go ahead and take those ribbons off. And if you look at the ribbons, they're basically just a pull to remove. So I'll just remove the ribbons, screw on the new one, put it back together, and see if we have success. Okay, so new board is all screwed in, everything plugged in. I've taken this apart before, and if you pivot it while it's open, these things slide off. So I'm just going to go ahead and screw everything down so that I don't have any of that issues, and hope for the best rather than testing it in place. For the ground test, it's plugged in. Let's find the on button. It's on. Where is it? Yeah, it's right on. Okay, so the reason I replaced the power supply is, of course, it took about a half hour to warm up, maybe an hour sometimes. So that's a common symptom of capacitors and power supplies. So the next one that has a lot of capacitors is the LED control board. And my kit came with a new board as well, so I'm going to swap that out. This time I'm going to be smarter and plug it in while it's down and then just kind of tip it a little bit and peek on it so I don't have to unscrew the back again. And then if that fails, I'm going to replace the board, the main board. I believe that's what it's called. Alright, yeah, maybe this is the main board, but replace the other board. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is replace the LED board, and this is let's see, this is the replacement unit. Let's see if we can get the code on there. It looks a little involved. By the way, my new board had the exact same, the power supply had the exact same number on it. So I'm glad I bought the kit that has everything, but hopefully the second board will fix it. And I'm not going to screw the back on this time. I was so confident that it would be the power supply board, but I'm glad I didn't just try and solder in new capacitors, because that would have been frustrating, as they wouldn't have replaced any, and nothing would have improved. So this time I'll just tip it up and peek at it while it's plugged in. Alright. So this board has two small ribbons in addition to the nice easy plug. Ribbons basically have a clamp So you just pop that up and then the ribbons slide off. Let me use the other hand so I don't block the camera. So that slides up and then this comes out. So let's zoom back here a little bit. Pop that up. There we go. And that slides out. So see that black part pivots. Okay? Okay, so this is the main board, and I've just replaced it and plugged things back in. Now, these are basically, you squeeze. It helps if you also push with your other hand with a little screwdriver at the front. Let me bring my little screwdriver. So as I'm squeezing, I'm just pushing right there. Okay? So as you're squeezing, and then these just pull off, and those I already showed you how to remove. Alright, and this set, the metal part just clamps. So let's see, we've replaced that board, and this board. Now let's go ahead and try that. There's one more board that's underneath here, and that's this little board here. And hopefully I won't have to do that one. There. Oh, look at that. I can see the lights all went right on. Okay, so that's it. So I'll get it on the wall and all's good to go. So let me summarize a little bit. So it had slow to turn on. It took about 30 minutes to an hour to turn on. Everyone says that's the power supply, swollen capacitors. Turns out it was the main board, which is over there. And it's good that I bought that $85 kit instead of just the $50 power supply. Alright. So we're all set, all back on the wall. Let's go ahead and see how long it takes to turn on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. So about 15 seconds. Went to the input of off the Roku. Oops, go all the way around. Do the main cable. Horizon. Okay, so we're all back in shape again. No longer half hour to an hour wait. And let's see some boards that I have left over. So I have the power supply and the video control, which I've opened, and then I have the bad main board, and I'll throw that one away. Probably resell those on Amazon as used but working, or I should say eBay, used but working. And then the one that I never even opened, whatever that one's called, new. And then I don't know if I'll try and resell the cords or not. Never know, but maybe I'll get back $40 of that $85, and we'll see. And anyway, my TV's back up and working. Yay! Only took 3 different boards. It's always the last one you try. Thanks. This has been John with theinfosheets.com. Bye-bye.